Thanks, guys. So this week we decided to cover one of the more controversial topics in recent news, the decision that overturned Proposition 8 on February 7th. And in even more recent news, the Proposition 8 backers are taking it to the appellate court to try to get this decision reviewed. This conversation is like an ongoing tennis match, one that may never end, which is why we decided to cover it. The state seems split on the decision, but what about your fellow students? The students of a religious institution, nonetheless. So we went to the Thousand Oaks campus and asked the students how they felt on this week's edition of Street Talkers.
I am against Proposition 8 because I feel like equality is something that everyone should have. You shouldn't treat people differently based on what their preferences are.
Two of my cousins are gay, and as long as they're happy, that's pretty much all that matters to me. It shouldn't be that big of a deal.
It really doesn't have any effect on me, but I support people who need to have marriage between the same sex, but at the same time, it doesn't affect me, so I don't have any opposition against it.
Proposition 8 is definitely unconstitutional in the fact that it denies a basic right to a group of people for arbitrary reasons. It absolutely never should have existed at any point in time, and it is morally repulsive.
Well, I believe that Proposition 8 is very difficult to kind of put a stance on, really, because I understand the people who want to keep marriage as what the Constitution said it was, but I believe that, love is love, and anyone who you should be able to love whoever you want and have that sort of connection with someone and be able to call it legal.
I'm for gay marriage.
Okay, and why is that?
Because I have a lot of friends, and I believe it's not just a choice, it's who they are, and everyone deserves to be able to love each other.
And how do you feel about it recently being overturned and all the back and forth in the system?
I was really excited to hear about it, and I was actually in class when I found out, but I think it's a really big step, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here.
I think the back and forth is good, mainly because you get to set examples of what's good and what's bad, and it'll set a precedent for other states. So I think it'll be something for other states to follow soon once courts make their decision.
I'm kind of happy it's now overturned because, I don't know, they were pretty much married anyways. Now it's just legal, I guess. So nothing really changed. It's just now that they're legally married. So what's the difference now than from before? So I think it's a good thing.
I don't think it represents the system very well, because we need to be able to make a decision and stick with it rather than, going back and forth. Obviously, not everyone's going to be pleased, but it's about making the better decision.
When you have a stance like mine, you do want them to be able to overturn the Prop 8, but it's hard because you kind of feel like there's not really much that is constitutional about it, because you're supposed to be able to vote, and that becomes what it is, and that's how the voting and the democracy in America is supposed to be. But when you're able to just keep going back and forth and doing this to a prop, it's really hard to see how the standing and how our political system is really stable, and I think there needs to be a lot of reform.
On the one hand, the fact that we have this system is great because it shows that not one person can say, okay, this is now a law or this is now not a law. But, again, for personal reasons, obviously I think the law is disgusting, or the proposition, I'd say, that's disgusting, and I kind of wish that there was someone who could just strike it down and say, yeah, you are done. This isn't going to happen, But what are you going to do?
Well, guys, it seems like we got a rather liberal opinion amongst the students, but I think we might be seeing this in the Supreme Court as early as next year. Reporting from Thousand Oaks, California, I'm Alexa Foss. Back to you guys in the studio.